Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Advanced Warfare in Depth. In today's episode, we're reviewing MORS the Doctor. Yes, we are finally reviewing the Doctor sniper rifle. This one has been very highly requested since the game came out, and I understand why, because it's an elite variant and it's also a very dead sexy looking sniper rifle. Probably one of the prettiest looking weapons in the game, but do the stats live up to that aesthetic hype? The gameplay that you're seeing right now is not mine. It's from Justin Slayer. He reached out to me saying that he had the Doctor, and he had assumed that I did not because I haven't already reviewed it. Very thoughtful of him, watches this series a lot and wanted to contribute, so he sent in some gameplay. I'd appreciate it if you go check out his channel. It's more live stream and kind of energetic oriented. At least tell him thank you for sending me the gameplay, if not subscribing. But let's talk about the MORS Doctor. We'll start off with the negatives first. The move speed has been slightly decreased from 90 to 88%. That's not a huge nerf or downside, but it can be slightly annoying and it'll make you move slightly slower. You might notice it, you might not a big deal. And the idle sway has been increased by 10%. This is actually kind of annoying for me because sniper rifles in Advanced Warfare already sway enough, and by increasing the sway you make it much more difficult to hit people at long ranges, and it can also mess up your quickscope accuracy because it's swaying as you scope in, and even though you're dead center, your sniper rifle might not be. That's probably the biggest downside of the weapon, is the increased idle sway, but it's got some positives that'll make up for that later on. But we need to talk about one more downside, which may or may not be downside at all, and that's the fact that the damage is not lowered at all. On the stat chart, it'll tell you that it has -1 damage. That is not true. It will not affect your one-shot kill areas. It will not affect your range. It will not affect the feel of this sniper rifle whatsoever, with the exception of the fact that the penetration has been lowered from high to medium. By lowering damage, what it really meant stat-wise is that it lowers the wall penetration. That's going to make it a little bit harder to get collateral kills with this one and wall bangs with this one, but it will not change the one-shot kill areas. I want to be very clear about that, and that all of the MORS variants have the exact same one-shot kill areas regardless of what the little damage thing says. I don't think it's a downside. I very seriously doubt that you will notice it, so let's talk about the upsides. What's good about this weapon? Well, first of all, the fire rate has been increased from 47 to 51 RPM. That's an approximate 10% increase with a little bit rounding right there. And I know it's only 4 RPM. It doesn't seem like very much, but it's a very slow firing weapon. And when you shoot this, when you use it, when you handle it, you will notice the difference. You will feel that it's firing faster. It'll handle a lot better. And that's something that I really kind of like on sniper rifles, because I'm not a very accurate sniper. When I miss, I like to have a nice follow-up shot ready to go. So anything that increases the rate of fire is very good, and it doesn't affect the recoil or anything like that. The sprint out time is also decreased from 300 milliseconds to 270 milliseconds. That's a 10% decrease, and the sprint out time is the time it takes you to go from sprinting to able to shoot. So if you're running and you pull the trigger, you know, you want to aim down sights or quick scope or snipe somebody, you can do it faster with this weapon than any other sniper rifle. Or there's some others that have the 270 millisecond thing, but it's tied for first in that category anyway. And you can do follow-up shots faster, which means this weapon is very much so geared toward quick scoping or fast aggressive sniping. It's not the old man sit in the back of the map, pick people off sniper. This is the one you want to use when you want to go aggressive, when you want to go big, or you want to make crazy plays or whatever. That's what the Doctor is made for, and it works very, very well at that. Unfortunately, I don't think this is a good variant. It's by no means a bad variant, but I don't believe it's worthy of being called elite, with the exception of the very cool aesthetics. There are other MORS variants which are better, and just one example of many, it's statistically dominated by the Pummeler, which is a marksman variant. And by statistically dominated, I don't mean opinion-wise. I mean the Pummeler and the Doctor have the exact same stats all the way across, with the exception of the fact that the Pummeler doesn't have the move speed penalty, which means they're exactly the same, except the Pummeler allows you to run faster. Therefore, it's statistically dominated by that variant. It's not, again, it's not a bad variant. It's not a terrible variant. It's not like you're going to do awful with it or anything, but the Pummeler is ultimately a better weapon, and this one is mostly for style and for show. It looks great. I mean, maybe the cool skin or whatever is what makes it elite, but in my book, elite means stats. As for how to best use this variant, I'm going to recommend using it with the thermal sight. You can aim down sights a little bit faster faster with the thermal sight, therefore making it the best for quickscoping. And since this variant is very much so geared toward quickscoping, I think doing anything to allow you to QS will be better than that. If you like the stock, that's fine. If you like the other attachments, that's fine. But I really think thermal sight's going to be the way to go on this one, even though that's not what you're seeing in the gameplay here. Guys, that's all for this episode of In Depth. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. The previous episode actually wasn't on the S12 Whirlwind. I'm kind of doing these out of order at the moment right now, so I'm not sure what the last episode was. Stocking up for Asia. The next episode I'm going to work on in a few minutes as soon as I figure out what it is. And as always, if you enjoyed, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.